अरे हंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। तीन भुवन में सार वीतराग विज्ञान था। शिव स्वरूप शिवकार नमो त्रियोग समारी कर। पंडित दौलत राम जी has written this Chaydala, and we started this last week. We had a very good introduction about the scripture also and about Pandit Daulat Ramji also. And then we started the first Dal and we were up to fifth stanza. Okay. So up to the fifth stanza, the last discussion was going on about one-sensed immobile things. And in one-sensed immobile thing, in immobile living being, we discussed about Nigod, the lowest form of life, who takes birth and death 18 times in one breathing. Okay, so that is the frequency by which he gets continuous birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. It goes on like that. And from then we move on to the other one sense being, like the fire body, earth body, water body, then plant body. In plant body also as an individual air body. So all these are one sense being. And from then one sense being to two sense being. Okay. That also we discussed in fifth stanza, that it's such a rarity to get a life of a mobile being. Mobile being is one who is from two sensed to five sensed, and again five sensed with mind. These are all mobile beings. They move one place to another place. But one sense being are stationary. They don't move out. Okay, they are there. They're till their life, and their lives are very short, as you have seen, right? So this two-sensed being, to getting a two-sensed life, two sense and above, is a very rare thing that we discussed in stanza number 5. Now today we are going to start from stanza number 6, and we will be continuing the discussions on mobile life, starting from two sensed to three sensed. So ant is, I think, a worm. A worm is a two-sensed being, ant is a three-sensed being, and a beetle is a four-sensed being. Okay. So these all we discussed last class. Today we'll start with the sixth stanza, mobile beings in. So this is all we are discussing about subhuman state, Tiryansh Gati. Okay. Many people say it is animal life. No, it's not animal life, because plants are also included in that. In subhuman state, we have plant kingdom, whole of plant kingdom, and the animal kingdom. It's not only animal kingdom. So that's why it is called Tiryansh Gati, and in English we call it as subhuman state. So we will be discussing this about subhuman state from stanza number 6 to 9. Okay. It's a long discussion, but I want to ask in the class one question, that you want to read the Hindi one and then get the English meaning, or we straightway want to do the summary? What is your opinion?
I think Hindi one and then the English summary.
Okay, so you are all good with Hindi, no? I don't mind. And that would be a right way, at least you will have some introduction to Hindi words also, and you can connect that way also, no problem. So now the sequence would be, first we will read the Hindi in the, there is a transliteration also given. So if somebody does not know Hindi at all, then they can read through that English transliteration. And then you skip the words and meanings, okay? That I will anyway take it up while explaining. And you straightway go to the explanation. We are also going to refer to the pictures, because pictures tells us many things that we cannot express through words. Okay, so we will definitely refer to each picture, and should also be looking at, and if anything which you are not able to understand from the picture, you can ask me also immediately. No problem. Okay, so we'll start with 6 stanza. I will just tell you what would be the flow of the language of this particular first chapter. Last week also we did it. कबहु पंचेन्द्रिय पशु भयो मन बिन निपट अज्ञानी थयो सिंहादिक सैनी है क्रूर निबल पशु हति खाए भूर. Okay, so this way you have to read, and the first one would be, we'll start with Jia.
So I can't do the
Hindi one.
Hindi part.
So you
I-
read the English one. You can read from the English transliteration also if possible. Otherwise, you can just summarize. Anyway, I will read the Hindi part. No problem.
Can I do the summary? I can't sing
Yeah,
it all.
go to the summary, right?
Stanza 6. In the subhuman realm, there is suffering of the sentient with mind and non-sentient with no mind, five sense living being. Every so often, the soul took birth as a five-sensed animal without the power of rational thoughts. In this case, such a soul would be ignorant about his true nature. Even if an opportunity arose to take birth as a five-sensed animal with the power of rational thinking, it may take birth as a wild or cruel beast, such as a lion or a tiger, which kills and eats many weaker animals like deer and rabbits, etc.
So
Do I go to stanza?
let it be. Let it be. Let me explain this one by one. Okay, no problem. So kabuhu. Kabu means sometimes. Panchendriya, five sense living being. Pashu, animal. Bhayo means took birth. Manna bin, without thinking power, means without mind. Right word would be without mind. Man is mind in English. Okay. Nipat agyani thayo, became quite ignorant being. Singh hadik, lion, tiger, etc. Hadik means etc. Saini. Saini means again with mind. A person with mind is called Saini. Here it is written as with thinking power. So those people who have mind, they only have thinking power. Then Saini, Sinhadi Saini hai krur, nibal pashu hati khaye bhur. Acha, have, okay, was born. Then krur. Krur is wild or cruel beast. So even if he was born in a five-sensed being, okay, he become a cruel animal, wild beast, Nibal Pashu. And what he did, he ate the weak animals that you can see from the picture, that a lion is eating a goat, and other birds and all. Hati means to kill. Khai, eaten. Bhur means many. Khaye bhur, bhur means many. So even so often, the soul took birth. So we discussed in the last stanza about the two-sensed, three-sensed, four-sensed. So you see the gradual promotion from lowest form of life, one-sensed being, to other one-sensed being, to two-sensed, three-sensed, four-sensed, fifth-sensed. Now in fifth sense, there are two things. One is without mind and one is with mind. So there are some animals who are with mind also and without mind also. I think we discussed last week, just like frog, you know. There are some frogs who have got mind and there are some frogs who are without mind. Then snake. There are some snakes who have got mind and there are some snakes who doesn't have a mind. So these are some of the exceptional cases, but generally speaking, so there are animals who are five sensed without mind always, and there are animals who are with always the mind, five sensed animals. Okay. So even so often the soul took birth as a five sensed animal without the power of rational thoughts. That means without mind. In this case, such a soul would be ignorant about his true nature. Okay. Why? Can anybody give me a good answer? Jia? Why he would be ignorant about his true nature? Very related to the text only. You have to just read the first two lines and you will get the logic. Why he remained ignorant? Why he could not become a enlightened one? Hemali?
So because there was no mind.
Ah, very common sense. No mind. Okay. So if there is no mind, you cannot do any efforts in terms of getting liberated or something like that. Okay. So again, we come back to the question that if there is not mind, then how they got promoted from one sense to two sense to three sense, and three sense to four sense. And this is the third time that we are discussing in this class. And Jia, you answer again. So if there is no mind, then there is no effort. So how the promotion happens from one sense to two sense to two sense to three sense? You would like to try, Jia?
So I lost.
Huh?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen.
Anyone else?
So what did you ask?
I
I
asked
couldn't hear.
that a person without mind, a person who has not got the thinking power, they cannot do anything beneficial to themselves, right? Because they don't have mind. So how did they get promoted from a one sense to two sense to three sense to four sense, and four sense to five sense, and five sense to five sense with mind? How did the promotion happen? Because there is no effort, because there is no mind.
There's a rise of auspicious karma and inauspicious karma. There's a cycle going on. And
Right.
when there is auspicious karma happening, that's when they get.
Yes. So every 48 minutes, you cannot have one kind of sentiments for more than 48 minutes. 48 minutes is the maximum. Okay. So then it will automatically change from auspicious to inauspicious, inauspicious to auspicious. It keeps on changing. Okay. And because of that, the promotion keeps on happening automatically. There is no effort of any kind in that phase. Now, when he becomes a five-sensed being with mind, then only the effort starts. Okay. So, Jia, I will ask again this question next time. Okay. You remember the answer. Okay. So, in this case, such a soul would be ignorant about his true nature. Why? Because there is no mind. That is what we got the answer. Even if an opportunity arose, oh, 1 minute. Yeah. Even if an opportunity arose to take birth as a five-sensed animal with mind, with the power of rational thinking, it may take birth as a wild or cruel beast, such as a lion or a tiger, which kills and eats many weaker animals like deer and rabbits, etc. Okay. So we could see the deer also and rabbit also. No, only it's the deer only, right? Okay. So, so if you become a cruel animal, although you have got mind, but you don't utilize that in the right manner. Okay. Because your profession in that particular life is to kill animals and feed yourself. You know, there are many tribes, human beings who take birth in those tribes, and they are there in the jungle only, okay, in the forest only, and they also thrive this way only. They kill, they what you call, hunt the animals, kill them and eat it. That is their profession. They don't do anything for their livelihood. Okay, one such was, it's called Bhil in Hindi. So there are many, 2 3 stories. I think Bhagwan Mahavir in his previous birth was a Bhil. Then Shrenik Raja in his previous birth was a Bhil. So these are the people uh, who were in earlier life this kind of things. So even if you become a cruel animal, then you will not be able to utilize your rational mind in a proper way. Okay, you will be always hunting other animals for your livelihood, and that is how you pass the life. And while you do the such things, you are binding many karmas, many inauspicious karmas. So again you are into that cycle where you are going to down and down and down, and you are going to suffer. Okay, there is no scope of any improvement. Now the next stanza. Okay, seventh one. Soumya.
कबहू आप भयो बलहीन, सबलनि करि खायो अति दीन। शेदन भेदन भूख प्यास, भार वहन में आतप त्रास. Stanza 7. In subhuman realm, there is weakness and sufferings. Occasionally, this living being was born as a weak animal, such as a deer, rabbit, etc., that might be eaten by a stronger animal. In this form of life, the living being had to face many sufferings due to piercing, cutting, hunger, thirst, carrying loads, cold and heat, etc. Said sir?
Oh, okay. So sometimes this living being was born as a weak animal. So earlier we discussed he was a cruel beast. Now he is a weak animal, such as a deer, rabbit. And that also we discussed that in that life, it was from that perspective that he became a cruel animal and he eat these weak animals. Now he has become a weak animal. So the opposite will happen. Now he will be eaten by those strong animals in the forest. Okay, that might be eaten by a stronger animal in this form of life. The living being had to face many sufferings due to piercing, cutting, hunger, thirst, carrying loads, cold and heat, and etc. So there exists an ecosystem. You know, a dog would be always after a cat. Okay, so you will have sympathy for cat, right? But a cat is again after a rat. So then you will have sympathy on rat. Okay, and rat is again after some other animal, right? So there is an ecosystem in the universe where it's such a system, automatically placed system, that one is a food for the another one, and another one is a food for this one, and keeps on happening. And there is a race called survival of the fittest, right? So this, we have been to these phases many times, and this is the kind of sufferings that we had. You are always fearful, you know. The uh, there are 4 sangyas in Hindi. So among the subhuman state, that is animals, fear is most prominent. Then among the celestial beings, greed is the prominent. Okay. Then among the hellish being, uh, no, hellish being, the fear is the prominent, and among the animals, I think food. Uh, no, oh, sorry, I confused. So there are 4 passions: anger, pride, then anger, pride, deceit, and greed. Okay, so one passion is prominent in one particular being. So now first we take up 1 minute. in human form, among the four passions, pride is prominent. Okay. Among the celestial beings, the greed is prominent. Among the subhuman state or animal state, okay, Krodh, anger is prominent in hellish being. Then man in human being, and Maya, deceit. Okay, so animals have this prominence of deceit passion. Okay, so this is done. Now, in the same fourth state of existence, there is prominence of four kinds of desire. Okay, it is called sangya in Hindi. So there is one ahar sangya, food, that is ahar is food. Then there is bhai sangya, fear. Then the third one is parigra, possessions, accumulation of possession. And the fourth is maithun sangya, cravings for sex. Okay, so the humans have prominence of cravings for sex. Okay, now the animals have prominence of food. Okay, then hellish being have prominence of fear, and celestial beings have fear of parigra. Okay, that is possessions, accumulations of possessions. They see each other and they feel jealousy that he is having so many of apsaras and I have so left so much, and the other kind of associations that they have in their celestial life. So these things are very prominent. Okay, so where we got into this from here, um, so occasionally the being was born as a weak animal, such as deer rabbit, that might be eaten by a stronger animal in this form of life. The living being had to face many sufferings due to piercing, cutting, hunger, thirst, carrying loads, cold and heat, etc. So I was discussing the sufferings, So sufferings, so this, because of this kind of prominence, they have automatically that kind of suffering in that particular birth. So now we are discussing the animal life. Okay. So there the sufferings is because they have got prominence of the desire of food. They are always craving for food. You keep something out, the ants will come and accumulate there. Okay. Because they have this smell sense, and through smell they can make out that there are food available, so they go and flock over there, right? So every state of existence has some prominence, and because of that the activity revolves around that only. Always they are always looking for food, like that. So these are the sufferings that we have experienced in our past lives. It is very important to relate these feelings and imagine yourself to be in that place to realize the sufferings that we have undergone in our past life, so that we make the most of this opportunity of this human life. Okay. Now the next one. Soumya again.
So I had a question. I
Yeah.
had a question.
Yeah.
So if we look at trees, what would they have? If we look at trees
Pardon?
from all of this, what would if we were to look at trees, what would they have? Like what would be prominent in
Tree is the
like
one
trees?
sensed being, and they have got sufferings that
Okay.
it cannot be explained by words. They are so stationary from outside, but inside they are just boiling in passions. Total Milji has written in Moksha Marg Prakasak in Hindi that उनके दुख तो वे ही जानते हैं और केवली भगवान जानते हैं. Like the sufferings of one sensed being is something that we cannot explain by words. It's infinite sufferings that they are going through. Okay. So they are always in constant fear and whatnot. Everything is there. So highest kind of sufferings is the one sense being, and then of course gradually 2 sense, 3 sense, they have little sufferings. But anyways, the suffering is there in human beings also. So it is there everywhere in the all 4 state of existence. Okay. Next. Earlier, people were not believing that plant has got life in this universe, right? But then Acharya Jagdish Chandra Bose discovered that plants are also having life. They are also living beings. And that's how it was discovered. So there are many things which are not discovered by science world so far, but our omniscient being has told us everything. So minute details that even after 1000 years also, science will not be able to discover such things. Now stanza 8, Soumya. Again,
Can I give an
Soumya Jain.
example?
Yeah.
So in about 40 years back, there was a book called Navneet. So in that book, it was told that it is discovered that plants, when you go near the plants or the tree,
Right.
it depends on the person, what type he is. If
Right.
he is fearful, they start shivering, the plants or the trees.
Right. They are very sensitive,
They are very sensitive. And if you say Navkar mantra or good, any religion, if you
The very
talk in,
point I want to get to from this example of Madhuji, that the soul inside, he is always craving to get liberated. It's a kind of bondage that we are all undergoing through. But the soul, by itself, by its nature, he wants to get liberated from all these bondages. So whatever species he may land into, there will always be an effort to minimize the suffering, to try to make ways to come out of this bondage. But because they don't have mind, so they don't think any rational, they don't have any rational thinking to get to a way to come out of this bondage. Only in the human state or any state with mind, they only have the power to make in some efforts. And at that point of time, even if they get some preachings like this, even the like in Mahavir Bhagwan's previous birth, he was a lion, and in that birth particular, he got right belief, and that from there the journey started. So it is not that there is no scope for that, but generally considering the scopes are limited in those sense, the most opportunity is there in the human being only. Okay. So yeah, that was a good example that Madhuji related, that plants are also, that goes on to prove that they are also living beings, they have got this, because of their behavior we can make out. Soumya Jain, you continue. 8th.
Excessive sufferings of the subhuman life and the reason for acquiring the infernal or hell life. बद बंधन आदिक दुख घने कोटि जीव ते जात न बने अति संक्लेश भाव ते मरो घोर स्वभ्र सागर में परो. Bad, sir, just now coming to the meaning. As an animal, the soul faces being butchered and bound. The suffering is so intense that it cannot be narrated by millions of tongues. Thus, it dies under extreme torture and falls into the terrible infernal or hell realm.
So, as an animal, so this is the last stanza that we are going to discuss about the subhuman life. So they are now concluding that as an animal, Jia, where is Jia? You have stopped sharing?
Sorry, my net is, it was reconnecting again.
So
I
Himali, I
shared.
will make you a host, or Soumya?
Yes, sir, my book is open. I can share.
Okay, I'm making you a host. Okay, So as an animal, the soul faces being butchered and bound. So we are concluding the subhuman state. The suffering is so intense that it cannot be narrated by millions of tongues. Now see, we are just considering the sufferings of a animal who is 2 cents, 3 cents, 4, 5 cents, like that. So it cannot be narrated by millions of tongues. That what it means, that it could not be completely explained. You have to just imagine, estimate. Thus it dies under extreme torture. Okay, he dies under extreme torture and falls into the terrible infernal realm. Why? Because being in this state, they bound so much of karmas that their next life would be in hell. Okay. So now the explanation on the hellish life will begin from 9th stanza to 12th stanza. You can look at the picture, you know. So the nowadays we have abattoir, right? Where animals are like cut like this. And you know, we have suffered infinite times in all these kinds of life. You know, it's not that the first time that we are getting this, but we have been to these places infinite times. In fact, the last stanza they will mention that we have done this panch paravartan infinite times. It is not once. So because soul is eternal, no? Soul has got not a beginning. So one which has not got a beginning, where he would not have landed everywhere. And not only one time, but infinite times. Because infinite could not be explained. So you can look at the pictures, and from the pictures also you can see the sufferings that this subhuman state have suffered. Now into
So,
the, yeah.
so I had a question.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm just relating our life
Hmm.
to that of Mahavir, not Gautam Gandharva or anybody. I'm relating to Mahavir Swam, the Siddharth, Prince Siddharth.
Okay.
So he saw these three things and he got shocked, death, old age, and illness.
Mm,
They had kept him protected.
these are the stories, you know, like it has been written by some acharyas only, but what he saw, I am not able to recollect what you are saying.
So when he was a child,
Hmm.
his parents kept him very protected, and they said that we will give him so much of happiness. He will not know anything about you know any sufferings of life,
Okay.
because it was said that he will go on to take
Come.
the path of religion. He will not become a kshatriya.
Okay.
So one day when he was in the garden, he saw some old person passing by. Then he saw someone's dead body being taken away, and then
Hmm.
he saw some illness. Somebody
Hmm.
was ill or something, and then that shocked him. And then he realized that life is so futile.
Right.
Everybody goes through this.
Hmm.
So, sir, when I was a child, I used to ask my mother that, just outside the dera, sir, I see so many beggars and, someone is ill, someone is.
Hmm.
So, why is nothing happening to me? you know? So, I used to ask my mother that, why is this happening? So, I just wanted to ask you that right now, also, we are seeing these pictures here,
Hmm.
and we see them. In the day-to-day life also, someone carrying load. At least I work in CST, so I see that all the time.
Hmm.
And so we see it, but then we forget about it, without realizing that we've also gone through all of
Hmm.
this.
Hmm. Hmm.
But how does one kind of constantly keep reminding, reminding oneself that, this could also be a life I have lived or I could go on to live?
Yes.
And, yeah, how do you stay always conscious about that? And if
Right.
I were to ever take that birth,
Hmm.
will I remember these classes or will I?
Yes. 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 So this is a very interesting question. You are really practically relating to what you are undergoing through. And I'll tell you one thing, that now once you saw and then you forget. Then you saw it again you forget. So this could happen maybe say 10 times, 15 times. but at some point of time it will stick to you. Like it stick to Siddharth. Siddharth was not seeing those scenes for the first time. Even in his previous birth also he must have seen it. But when the right time comes, when the right time has come for Siddharth to become a monk, he got connected to this picture, and that became an instrumental cause for him. And there were other people who were also looking at those things, but that did not become an instrumental cause for them. Why? Because his time was not there, his destiny was not there, right? So when we are destined to get things, why you got into these studies right now only? You are there since 40 years. Why you never thought of joining a Parmagam? Why Parmagam was not there 10 years ago? So everything has a right time to happen, some things. And then when the time comes, then you get all the associated cause, So this is very natural, that what would be your destiny, like somebody who's going to get a birth in hell in the next birth. What would be his activities right now here? You can imagine from this, that right now he would be involved in all the wrong things, So because he's destined to get birth into there, so that props him here. Even if his parents, if his guru teaches him that don't do this, he will not listen. And we have seen there are children who are not listening to their parents' advice right now. Why? Because they are destined to get into bad things. Their future is like that. So even the people are there to guide them, to advise them, but they will not listen to their advice. So it's all very natural that whatever is destined to happen, accordingly, the other associations, your thoughts, and all become an instrumental cause to facilitate that journey, So it is like that. Hope you have understood.
Yes, sir. And sir, these scores.
And your other question, that you always thought that why these beggars are suffering and I'm not suffering. So again, because you have done something good in the past and they have done something bad in the past. So that only is coming into fruition, right? So it is always like that, that whatever deeds we have done in the past, it comes to us. And here, not a single effort of yours is going to be fruitful in any of the causes. Not a single effort. You may say that I am studying so much, I am working so hard in the company to get a promotion. But at the end of the day, it is all about destiny. If you are destined, you will get the good contacts and you will rise up in the hierarchy of the your organization that you are working. And if your luck is not there, although you have seen in your office that there are many good hardworking people, but they never got a promotion. And those who were not deserving, they got a promotion. Why? So again, the luck factor comes in between, our past deeds, our past karmas, our bondages. So the important thing that I want to highlight here, only your effort in the process of understanding the scripture is only going to work for your benefit. Everything is just a result of your past things. I'll give you my example. I left my business. Okay. So I left my business and I gave it to my employees and said, you manage it. I won't come to the office. Okay. I was the boss, so I can always keep my business and whatever I want to do. So they were managing. My business was still running. It was just the first year. I'm talking about 2011, November. The day it was 4th November, I decided I'll stop working. But I cannot overnight close the company. So there were 5 employees working for me. And I said, you manage. There is a regular flow of income coming and you manage and you do it. But it was still in my name. So 1 year down the line, I thought that these people have been there with me for long. So I want to benefit them. So let them run. And while at the end of the year, I will work out something for them, so they get more benefit, because anyway, I don't want to work. So that was my plan. But while they were working, they were not able to forget about growing the business. They were not able to manage the same level that I was working. It was just only they have to manage, but still they were not that serious. So what happened? The main employee, he got married and he went for a honeymoon. So for 1 month, I had to come to the office and manage the affairs. And while I was there, I realized, because already 1 year I have taken off. I never went to office for 1 year. And in all this time I was studying all the time and I got very much interested. So when I went back there, I experienced those anxieties and things that how life is in a business. You have so many things to manage at the same time, and one query comes up and you solve that, and the other query comes up, and then there are some mistakes the employees were making, that also you have to look at. So there were so many issues that were going on, and then I realized that, oh, this is something I don't want, because today he has got married and has got a went to honeymoon. Tomorrow something else will happen and then will happen. So I have to keep back coming on. So I was just contemplating to give this business to somebody. And suddenly I got an offer. In that 1 month period, I got the offer, and that fellow took over my business, took over my employees. My office also become free. I could sell off my office and everything came to an end. Now my relation with money is that much that I have to go to the ATM and take out the money. That's all. There's no other relation. Now just imagine the business that I've already left, and I got a goodwill amount, have very good amount of goodwill. He paid me for my goodwill. He took over my customers. He took care of them because he paid me a goodwill. Now he has to extract that money from my customers only. So he was maintaining that relationship. He was serving them, and everything went, and he absorbed all my employees, and all my worries went in one stroke. And the business that I left, and I never expected any money, I got a good money. So again, I'm coming back to this point that whatever efforts you do in terms of in your professional life, it is not giving you any result. It is just your past auspicious karma that is coming into fruition. So that's why you are getting good things in life. Your present effort is not doing anything over there, right? But whatever you do here is all going to give you benefit always. Every moment of yours spent here in Jinwani for upliftment of our spiritual development is all going to pay you. It's going to facilitate your next birth, the association that you will get in your next birth, and those will be better than here. You will be on a progressive mode all the time, and ultimately you will get liberated. So this is the journey. So whatever efforts you put in, it's going to give you result like anything. Here only the effort works. Everywhere else is just a game. You are in the hands of Pap and Punya. Auspicious and inauspicious coming into fruition. If there is an auspicious karma, your efforts will yield result. If it is not the auspicious karma, you will not get the result, in spite of being so confident and so expert in that field. But it will not work. We have seen Anil Ambani. He rose to such a big place, and then he was on the verge of bankruptcy. Many others, you can see, overnight they get, like, something happens and they are onto the road. You have seen many YouTubers who were so famous and overnight they got into some problem and everything gone. So these are all pap punya happening. There is no efforts that is required over there. And so that doesn't mean that you stop going to work from tomorrow. No, I'm not saying that, right? But the thing is that you have to understand that it is at the end of the day only the auspicious and inauspicious karma that is into play, and that's how you are getting the results. Okay. So there, although we will do, because at this stage, we cannot get rid of the passions that we are in, right? Overnight, it will not get over, but there will be a gradual process. Okay. So gradually you will be more into your own development, and these things will automatically go away. So there will be, it will take some time, but nevertheless, it's an ongoing process that is happening all the time. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. So whatever efforts you put in, it's all going to yield result. So whatever time you get to study Jinwani, study with deep interest, and it's going to create a miracle in your life. That is for sure. All things work will for you. You will get all the opportunities as we have got. Now this opportunity, all this we have got, no? Otherwise, how would we have got the scriptures? Somebody has written this, and then somebody has preserved it, and then somebody has reproduced it. We have got this in English. Kirit Bhai Kausalya wrote it 20 years ago. And he never thought that somebody would join Parmagam honors course and this would be taught in such a manner. But it's happening. Things are happening. So it's all coming on its own. We are now what I cannot explain you in words that how lucky we are that we are getting all these things, and our interest is developing. What was your interest yesterday? Today you are more interested. You are more. Your efforts are more, and your progress is also more. The kind of purity that we had earlier yesterday, the purity today is more. So on one hand, the whole universe is going on a downfall journey. And here, we are very few people. If you consider all the students of Parmagam, then Todarmal Smarak Trust and all the other institutes that are going all over the world, we are still a very handful people, very small amount of people. We are moving against the flow and we are progressing. And we have only ourselves to relate to that. We don't want a certificate from somebody, some authority that you are progressing. But our own experience relates us to these feelings. It's all boils down to feeling. How do you feel today? And what you were feeling yesterday, day before yesterday. You compare yourself. Don't compare with anybody else, because everybody has got a different journey altogether. Everyone has got a different kinds of rise of karmas. So there you cannot match. But your feeling you can always match, and you can realize that, oh, I am better today. My wisdom is increasing every day. So this is how you make out. Okay, so now from 9 to 12 would be hell. So we will read at a stretch 9 to 12. Okay. So Madhuji, you read. You will be able to...
No, I'm not in my house.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. No
So
problem.
it's a little difficult.
No problem. So Amita
Thank
ji,
you.
yeah.
Can you hear me? Because I
Yeah,
messed up the
yeah.
because I messed up the Zoom. Sorry.
Okay.
So the
Now you are...
sufferings in
Yeah.
the sufferings in the infernal hell life and the state of the river. तहाँ भूमि पर सत दुख इसो बिछु सहस डसत तन तिसो तहाँ राधि श्रोणित वाहिनी कृमि कूल कलित देहदाहिनी. Please move up because my book is in Gujarati.
Okay.
Thank you. In the infernal realm, just merely touching the ground causes pain, likened to the sting of thousands of scorpions. The flow of the river Vaitarni is full of pus and blood, along with swamps of worms, and all these cause severe burning sensation to the body.
Next.
Pains of heat and cold in the infernal life. Stanza 10. Pains of heat and cold in the infernal life. सेवर तरुदल जुत असि पत्र असि जो देह विदाओ रे तत्र मेरु प्रमाण लोह गली जाय ऐसी सित उष्णता थाय. In the infernal realm, there are leaves of the savar trees that have sharp edges like a sword. When they fall on the inhabitants, they pierce through the body. The climate is so intensely hot that a lump of iron as big as Mount Meru can melt just like the wax of a candle. And it is also so cold that the same lump of iron melts away as if the salt into the water. Stanza 11. In the infernal life, presence of other infernal living beings, Asurakumar, a kind of lower quality heavenly beings, and the sufferings of the thirst. तिल तिल करे देह के खंड असुर भिड़ावे दुष्ट प्रचंड, सिंधु निरते प्यास न जाय, तो पन एक बूंद न लहाय. Inhabitants of the infernal life fight and chop the bodies of each other into small pieces. They are incited to fight amongst themselves by wicked and fierce celestial beings known as Asur Kumar. They have extreme thirst which cannot be quenched by the water of an entire ocean. Despite this, they do not get even one drop of water to drink. Stanza 12. Infernal living beings, hunger and life expectancy. The beginning of human life after the end of infernal life. तीन लोक को अन्न जुखाए, मिटे न भूख कणा न लहाय. ए दुख बहु सागर लो सहे, करम जोगते नर भव लहे. Even if infernal living beings are given entire food stocks of the three worlds of the universe, their hunger would not be satisfied, and yet they receive not a grain to eat. Here in this life, the soul has suffered natural and other intense sufferings for very long periods of time. At the end of the infernal life, by fruition of auspicious karma, the soul is born as a human being.
Stop. So you see the last line, of the 12th stanza. At the end of the infernal life, by fruition of auspicious karma, it's clearly mentioned by fruition of auspicious karma, the soul is born as a human being. So why we have come to human being? Because of the fruition of auspicious karma. Okay, there is no other logic. So this transformation is from a hell to human, but so hellish have a mind. Okay, so their efforts could be there, but it is not because of the efforts that we come to the human being, but because of the auspicious karma. Okay, because it is not that you always come from a rational being to a human being. It could be that you may be a 2 sensed in a real life and now you are a human. You could be a 3 sensed, 4 sensed, 5 sensed. It could be anything. So there is no such rule, but only because of auspicious karma we have got this. The other thing that these 4 stanzas highlights us, that when a problem comes, it comes from all sides. Even in our present life also, you must have seen that you are having some difficulty and you go for a help, and that fellow does not help you because your inauspicious karma is on rise. So that fellow will also not help you. Then you will go for some other solution that will also not work. Nothing works because there is a rise of inauspicious karma. And if there is a rise of auspicious karma, even if you are not asking for anything, you are getting everything on your plate. Why? Because again, there is a play of karma going on. So it is all because of karma. So now in the 9th stanza, we see that this infernal realm, just merely touching the grass, causes pain likened to the sting of thousands of scorpions. So the moment it touches the ground, the scorpions bites them. Okay. Now to save from here, he jumps onto a river, and that river is full of pus and blood, along with swamps of worms. Now these also hurt him very well. So to save from here, he jumped to the river, and there also he again suffered, and all these causes severe burning sensation to the body. So you see the problems is coming from all sides. The underlying cause is the rise of inauspicious karma that has come into fruition. And why it has come into fruition? Because in the past life, he has bound these karmas. Otherwise, it doesn't come on its own. Okay. So anything happening in of our life is just a reflection of our past deeds, and no external person is to be blamed for that. Okay. So in our family, you are not supposed to blame your spouse for anything because it's just an instrumental cause. It is your past karma that is coming to fruition. You cannot blame your maid or your servant that he is not doing such proper things. Your past karmas are not like that. So everything is happening good in your life is because of your past auspicious karma. Not happening good is because of your past inauspicious karma. There is no other logic behind anything. Yeah, ask Semali what you were asking.
So I wanted to ask you that, the example that you gave earlier of, when your inauspicious karma is on the rise, you you don't get help from anyone. So, sir, I wanted to ask you, is that connected to astrology? Like, I know there's Jain astrology too. Like, they say Shani Dasha is on. I'm just
Right.
asking because when I went through this, everybody told me your Shani Dasha is on. That's why
Right.
it's happening to you.
So it's a very common answer that everyone would give you in the worldly place, but it doesn't work. I've also analyzed it many a times, and I will tell you the truth that it doesn't work, because the underlying cause is your past karmas. Okay, so Shani would be an instrumental cause. The external person in your family would be an instrumental cause. Okay, your boss could be an instrumental cause. So all the associations are just an instrumental cause. So what does it matter whether it is a Sunny or is a live person, my maid? What difference does it make? No, it doesn't make any difference, right? So it is better not to get on to all those things, because there is no end to it. You know, you call a Vastu Shastra and he will recommended you so many things. One of my friend, he bought recently a 4-bedroom hall kitchen flat, and somebody connected him and you said this. So that Vastu guy came and he said that your flat is like this and that, you have to make these changes. Okay, and you have to spend 1,50,000 after this. So then he called me up that what should I do? So I said, you were in Bhavnagar, from there you came to Bombay with 500 rupees in your pocket, and now you are such a wealthy. You went to which Vastu Shastra all these years? Without going to a Vastu Shastra, you progressed from there to here. And now this Vastu Shastra will build up further? Nothing. No, don't get into it, any of these things. Now he is saying that you do this. Tomorrow you will say you get out at 8:40 in the morning and don't go beyond 8:40. Then he will say in this hour you eat at this o'clock only. So you are going to get dependent on it. He's just playing on your weak mentality. Okay, you don't call him again, you stop discussing with him. And there is a very good joke to relate to that. A person was sitting on the street, he was an astrologer, and somebody came and show his hands, and he said, your Sunny is so heavy, so you have to do this and that, you give me 500 rupees. So that fellow says that I don't have 500 rupees in my pocket. And he paused for a moment. So he said, okay, you give me 200 rupees. I will get it fixed. So he said, I don't have 200 rupees also. So then he said that, okay, you give me 100 rupees. So then he said, I don't have 100 rupees also. Then he said, you give me 50 rupees. He said, no, I don't have 50 rupees. Then he asked, how many rupees you have? So that I don't have a single penny. So then you go. Sunny doesn't affect those people who don't have any money. So this is the joke, you know. So it is like that. These are all something waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money. Don't fall into it. I am giving you uh, one more hint, you can say, in these situations. You say that you asked all the karmas, all the grahas, Sani, Rahu, Ketu, everyone to come at one time and harm you. You give the challenge. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. You know, there are Vyantar Devs, you know, Bhoot and all, who comes and affect you and these and that. There are stories like that, and there exists a celestial being by the name of Vyantar. It is there, okay? But it cannot affect you unless and until there is a rise of inauspicious karma of yours. This is the logic. If there is a rise of inauspicious karma, even your own brother will affect you. And if there is not a rise of inauspicious karma, nobody in this universe can touch you. This is the final say. So getting into all these things is absolutely waste of time, energy, money. One more harm, the major harm, you get farther from right belief. It's a what you called kua. It's a well that you are getting into, and you will go deep, 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 and you will never come out of it. So at best, you leave all these things. Never got into this. Whatever my karmas is there, will always be there, and that karmas are limited up to my body only. It doesn't affect my soul, and I am a soul, and anything happening in this body is not my function. And how should I be worried about it? This strength you develop by studying the scriptures, by understanding this principle, by putting it into logic, and then you come at a conclusion. And that conclusion you carry always wherever you go. In the next birth also you will be carrying all these conclusions. Okay. So every effort that you do here is worth, and it's going to come with you. Okay. So all these things, never worry about those things. Any other questions related to this? We will be discussing this in detail next year in the not in the fifth sem. Okay, now we are into third sem. In the fifth sem, there is one chapter on this in Moksha Marg Prakasak, chapter number 6. Okay, Kudev, Kuguru, Kusastra. And there they have discussed about this Vyantar Dev and Gra and Sunny and everything, that it doesn't affect. Only the underlying cause is your past karmas, and if it is there, nothing is going to work. Nothing is going to work. Okay, you may have, Sikandar had so much of wealth, but he could not meet his mother. He wanted to meet his mother, and he could not meet it because his punya has dried up. His life was over, right? And he could not get it increased with his all the wealth, even a moment to meet his mother. And then he said that when you take out my processor, you take all of my wealth along with that, and tell all the people of this universe that wealth doesn't help you in any way to give you an extra second in your life. Okay. So it is like that. Any other questions? Good. I enjoy these kind of discussions because this is going to change your belief, you know. So if you have anything in mind, you always ask. Okay. So we were discussing the infernal being's life. And so from after getting out of that river, he goes under a tree for shelter. And the name of the tree is Saver tree. Okay. And that have sharp edges like a sword. So from there, he jumped into the river. From river, he come out and went near under the tree. And that also, those leaves pierces his body, you know. And when they fall on the inhabitants, they pierce through the body. The climate is so intensely hot that a lump of iron as big as Mount Meru. Mount Meru is a very big mountain, can melt just like the wax of the candle, and it is also so cold that the same lump of iron melts away as if the salt into the water. So everybody has seen this Narak Darshan movie I shared last week, right? If not seen, you just see it, because all these explanations has come from there only. Okay, the movie is made out of the explanations given here.
So we know it is so scary that we don't have the himmat to see it.
No. You should develop that, no, because at the end of the day, the soul is not suffering, you know. It is just the past karma that is coming into fruition. And if you see it, then it will stop you from getting into any sinful activities, because now you know the result, you know the consequences, right? So it will help you in that way. So be brave enough to see that movie and just be an observer that what's happening. Okay. The climate is so intensely hot up that a lump of iron like big as Mount Meru can melt just like the wax of the candle. And it is also so cold, extreme heat and extreme cold. You see the sufferings. Then in the next stanza number 11, inhabitants of the infernal life fight and chop the bodies of each other. There is no other activity. They keep on fighting, fighting, fighting. Those who have seen the movie, anyone has seen the movie, or nobody dared to see the movie? Anyone have seen? Nobody has seen that movie. So today you
Sir,
must.
not the movie, but I have seen some other videos, and I have seen in Hastinapur and in the Badagaon the pictures of these things.
Okay.
Even in Gunaitan is there. So that is what scares you. We've seen bits of it. That itself is so.
So it scares you, then it is good, no? So you will not indulge in such activities, right? Because these activities they have done earlier, that has come into fruition. It doesn't come automatically. And we should not be scared, because our present life is such in a high scale that even if we have done something bad in the past, it's going to go away on its own because of our auspicious thoughts that we are undergoing through. We are reading the text, which is the preachings of Tirthankars. We are into such allied company. We are in the company of acharyas, scholars. We are, there was a show called Coffee with Karan, and we are coffee with Kunkund Acharya. So your life is on a roll now. So whatever you do, you will succeed, because the best of auspicious karma is coming into fruition right now with you. So you are getting all the good things in life. Okay. So you must see the movie and develop your mental strength that I am the soul, and soul doesn't suffer at all. Soul is always on happy space. It is just the body activities that's happening. So the climate is done. Now it chops off the bodies of each other. They don't have any other activities. They are incited to fight among themselves by wicked and fierce celestial beings. So celestial being also joins that party, and they come there, and they uh, instigate each other to fight among themselves. They they tell that one hellish being that in your previous birth he killed your mother. So that hellish being attacks that fellow, that you killed my mother in previous birth. Now I'll take revenge, and that keeps on happening. And this celestial being joins them, and they instigate each other, and they are known as Asur Kumar. Okay, they are celestial beings, but they can go up to the, I think, third Narak. They can go up to the third Narak and instigate these people. They have extreme thirst, which cannot be quenched by the water of an entire ocean. Despite this, they do not get even a drop of water to drink. And similarly, they have hunger, for so much of hunger that they will eat all the stocks available in the three universe, but they don't get even a single grain to eat. Okay. Here in this life, the soul has suffered natural and other intense sufferings for very long periods of time. So once you get into Narak, the life is into Sagaropam, very long period. At the end of the infernal life, by fruition of auspicious karma, the soul is born as a human being. So now the description would be of human being, stanza number 13 and 14. Who will do it? Okay. Payal, you do it.
Yes, sir.
13 and 14. Yeah.
Oh, my glasses, 1 second.
Hmm.
Stanza 13, the suffering of the human life during pregnancy and at childbirth. Jane उदरवसौ 9 मास अंग सकुच तीन पाए त्रास निकसत जे दुख पाए घोर तीन को कहत न आवे और. In the human form of life, the living being was confined for 9 months in the womb of the mother, wherein on account of bodily contractions it had to suffer pains. The intense pain he had to suffer at the time of taking birth is beyond narration.
14.
The sufferings of human beings in childhood, youth, and the old age. बालपने में ज्ञान न लह्यो तरुणा समय तारुणी रति रह्यो अर्धमृतक समबोधपनो कैसे रूप लखाए अपना. During childhood, one did not acquire true knowledge. In youth, one remained engrossed in sensual pleasures with the spouse. In old age, one is almost half dead. How can then one obtain a chance for the realization of one's own true nature?
So you see, in a human life also, we have sufferings. First of all, while we are in the womb for 9 months of mother, then on account of bodily contractions, it had to suffer pains. If you eat something very hot, right, the child suffers. If you eat something very cold, the child suffers. But because of ignorance, we had done such mistakes in the past. We never realized that how the child is undergoing through. The intense pain he had to suffer at the time of taking birth is beyond narration. Then, during childhood, one did not acquire true knowledge. In youth, he remained engrossed in sensual pleasures, so he could not get into this kind of studies. In old age, one is almost half dead. How can then one obtain a chance for the realization of one's own true nature? Okay. So again, in human life, it is shown here that sufferings, but there is an outlet there in human life, as we have all experienced, that this is the best time that we can do something here. So although they have highlighted the sufferings of a human life, but then there are other advantages also of a human life that we are all experiencing, and we are quite there into it, but it is for very few people. On a general scale, they have mentioned that this is the sufferings that you have in human life. So the conclusion is that there is sufferings in all the 4 states of existence. So you proceed to get liberated. That is the final conclusion for all this discussion. Okay. So this is the human life. Now you are getting into celestial beings. This is the last one. Okay. 15 and 16. And Maltiji, you read it.
Yes, sir.
You want to go into celestial being, no?
Yeah, we definitely want to.
So that's why this stanza has come to you.
That's true. The sufferings of the celestial living beings. कभी अकाम निर्जरा करे भवन त्रक में सुर तनु धरे विषय चाह दावा नल दयो मरत विलाप करत दुख सयो. As a result of the involuntary dissociation of karma, that is akam nirjara, the living being is now born as a celestial being. Here, he could be born as a mansion dwelling, that is the Bhavanpati, a wandering, that is the Vyantar, or as a stellar, that is the Jyotish celestial being, living being. In these lives, the living being is burning with sensual desire like a wildfire. At the time of death, he weeps bitterly and suffers intense agony. Stanza 16. The sufferings of the empyrean celestial heavenly beings. जो विमानवासी होता है सम्यक दर्शन बिन दुख पाए तहाँ ते चय था वर्तन धरे यो परिवर्तन पूरे करे. The living being continues to suffer if born as the empyrean type of celestial being without the right faith. Falling from there, he is reborn as an immobile organism. Thus, the living being continues the cycle of mundane transmigration.
So which of the 4 celestial beings you would like to go into, Maltiji?
So obviously, probably Bhavanpati. With
No, Empyrean, last one, Vaimanic Dev. All the people who get into this kind of studies, they'll end up there only. That is the best over there.
Great. Yeah.
So all these Bhavanvasi and all, we are very a low category of celestial beings. You know, all the three are low category. Bhavanvasi, Vyantar and Jyotis. Vyantar is also called peripatetic. Peripatetic, you know. So they come into the body of other beings whom they have got past connections, you know, some karmas, rise of some karmas, and then they harm them. And we have seen this at many places. You know, the voice changes when it comes into the body. A person who was very illiterate in a small village, and when that soul will come into the body of that, he will start talking in English, although he doesn't know a single word of English. And then when it goes away, he is not able to utter a single word in English. So there are this kind of connections there because of past karmas. These things happen. Okay. So celestial being, involuntary dissociation of karma is called akam nirjara. Okay. Involuntary dissociation of karma, akam nirjara, means this nirjara of no use. Okay. So there are two kinds of nirjara, two kinds of dissociation. We have read this in the while we were studying this 7 fundamentals. Okay. So this is called dissociation of bondage. Nirjara is dissociation of bondage. So there are 4 kinds of dissociation of bondage: akam nirjara, sakam nirjara. Then we have avipak nirjara and savipak nirjara. Okay. So akam nirjara is of no use, and sakam nirjara is only with enlightened soul. Then avipak nirjara, avipak is without giving the fruits, that is again only with celestial, only with enlightened ones. And there is savipak nirjara, that it gives the fruits and it goes away. So this thing is happening with all the people. Okay. So as a result of involuntary dissociation of karma, okay, akam nirjara, the living being is now born as a celestial being. Okay. Here he could be born as a mansion dwelling, Bhavanpati. It's in the photo also you can see. A Vyantar, a wandering or peripatetic, or as a stellar, Jyotish, celestial beings, living being. In this life, the living being is burning with sensual desires like a wildfire. Okay. So desire is always there, but the means are very minimum available. So they are always suffering. At the time of death, he weeps bitterly and suffers intense agony. So at the time of death, 6 months before, there is one necklace in their neck which keeps, it's called Mandar Mala. You know, that Mandar Mala gets stale. Okay. And then they realize that this celestial being life is over, and because of that, the last 6 months they are in so much of worries, because all their comfort levels and all their good associations will go away. And on that, he binds so many karmas because of that in the last 6 months, that he again go back to the one sensed being. So the whole journey started from one sensed being and to a celestial being and back to one sensed being. This is the transmigration that we have been going since infinite time. Okay. And if we lose this opportunity, then again same things will be repeated again and again and again and again. Okay. So this was about the 3 lower category of celestial being. Now the one that we are going to get birth is the highest category of celestial beings. Because of so much of auspicious activity, you will never land up anywhere apart from celestial being or human being. But human being is again a very low chance, but still there is a chance that you may born as a human being in the next life and continue your spiritual journey. Or mostly like Kunkunda Acharya Dev and all, they were monks, and so they are into this Empyrean celestial beings, Vaimanik Dev. Okay. And in some category there are I think 16 categories of Vaimanik Dev. 16 swargs are there. Okay, Sola swarg. So all those Vaimanik Dev, this Empyrean celestial beings, they land up in the 16 what you called Sola
Heaven.
Swarg, yeah,
Heavens.
heavens, 16 heavens, okay. And above 16 heavens, there is 9 Gravaks. Those are also very good kind of people only, they'll end up there, they get birth there. So those are very good. In some of the some of the cases, they are into only religious studies only, all the time. They don't have any queens over there, okay. They are all brahmachari, Lokantik Dev. It's called Lokantik Dev. And all the time they are discussing on this spiritual text only. And their discussion doesn't end, but their whole life of 33 Sagaropam ends. Such is the discussion that they do always, okay. The living being continues to suffer if born as the Empyrean type of celestial being without the right faith. Now we are discussing without right faith. So those there are with right faith. They are Samyak Drashti. Falling from there, he is reborn as an immobile organism, one sensed only. Okay. Thus, the living being continues the cycle of mundane transmigration. The 5 kinds of transmigration: substance transmigration, space transmigration, dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, time transmigration, and bhav is disposition transmigration, and the last is bhav. Bhav is the lifespan, life. Okay. So these transmigrations we have done infinite times, not the one time, but infinite times. There is not a space in this universe where you have not born earlier. You have born infinite times. There is not a body where you have not born earlier, infinite times. Okay. So Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, there is not a time that you are not born. You are born in every moment of life, infinite times. 5th era, you are born infinite times. 6th era, you are born infinite times. 4th era, you are born infinite times. Okay. So it is not that the first time that we are getting the opportunity, we have got this opportunity infinite times earlier also, but we never did our good. Okay. So this is the time you have got. Then there is not a sentiment that you have not manifested earlier. Infinite times, all kinds of sentiments. Okay. And there is not a life that you have not got earlier. So all kind of 5 paravartan, panch paravartan, you have done infinite times. Paravartan is transmigration, and these are 5 types of transmigration: substance, space, time, disposition, and life. Okay. And this is the end of the story. It started from Nigod and it has come back again into Nigod. So this is the one whole journey that Daulat Ramji tried to depicted you. And in all this journey, he has shown the sufferings that we have undergone every time. Okay. And with this, now he will tell you the cause of these sufferings. Okay. So these sufferings he have showed you first place. In the second dhal, the whole chapter is about the causes. And in terms of causes, there are very few causes: mithya darshan, mithya gyan, mithya charitra, false belief, false knowledge, and false conduct. And this will be discussed from 2 angles: inborn and acquired. Okay. So this will be the second chapter. Before that, we will take up the questions. Yeah, Hemali.
So you were asking Malti ji that which of the celestial beings do you want to be? So even I was going to say this Bhavanpati, because the minute I read that, these people, these Empyrean guys, they don't have the right faith. And then they are
So this is so Empyrean life have 2 types. Okay. The one here describes, because they want to show this transmigration, they want to show the sufferings, that's why it is mentioned here. But as I said, there are 16 swarg. So all those higher level of swarg, only good people can go. Okay. So we were discussing about Kunkunda Acharya. Where is Kunkunda Acharya Dev right now? So the logical answer is that he is in this celestial being, but of a high level, where there are only discussing about religion only all the time. Okay. So they are part of this empyrean celestial beings, but that is not being discussed here because there is no sufferings over there. There are all good things over there. You are a right believer. You are discussing all the time religion. There is no Apsara or any queen over there. You are a brahmachari and all the time you are doing this only. But in spite of that, you cannot go beyond the fourth stage. Okay. So that is a limitations over there. But having said that, they are not suffering. And we are also not going to suffer. Okay. These sufferings are for those who miss the bus, who miss this opportunity, who leave this course. And I don't know what they do leaving this course. If they are getting into something better than this, I would be happy. But most of them land up in sensual pleasures and unimportant things. And that is a story. So it is not that everybody will be able to complete the course. Only who remain steadfast in their purpose, they will be able to complete this course. Otherwise, distractions will come along every now and then. Every now and then. And one more thing, just now Payal read some portion, okay? So I would like to introduce you, Payal, to the class. Payal was in USA doing a very good job. What you were qualified? Payal, you tell your history. We have been speaking for so long time. We had done that extra classes also, but we never got chance to discuss. So now you discuss how was your life and why you came back to India.
Oh, sir, I was a sales executive in the US. I moved there when I was 9, and then I
Okay.
lived there for 30 years, 30 plus.
Hmm.
Then moved back to India. I decided to wrap everything up over there.
Hmm.
I have a
Why?
9-year-old son, and
Why you wrap up there?
because we realized there was some we were drained out of all the work that we had been doing to keep
Okay.
up to maintain that lifestyle
Hmm.
requires a lot of it's very draining. Night and day you are just working like a robot trying to make
And why
money,
you
and
came to
it
India?
felt purposeless. It
Why
felt
you came to
purposeless
India?
for religion, for
Ah,
upliftment of my soul.
okay. And they are now in Adalaj. You know Adalaj?
Yeah.
Ahmedabad, near Ahmedabad. How far it is from Ahmedabad?
30 minutes, sir.
Acha, 30 minutes. So, outskirt of city, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. So they have retired and they are here for religious study only. And they have got the right opportunity, you know. So it is like that. Okay. So any other questions? Anyone? Yeah.
So Bhavanpati, I realized, would have some house. The wanderer would be on one of these, wandering around. Who are the
One minute, I'll just take a break. I have to open the door. My maid, my servant has come. Just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah. Your question, Hemali.
So who are these stellar ones? They are on.
They are also a type of celestial being only, but a lower category. All these three are lower category. I don't have much details about this, but these are celestial being. Jyotishi Dev. So all these Rahu, Ketu, and I think Somya, that is all, na?
Sir, Surya Chandrama, Nakshatra Tara.
Nakshatra Tare. They live in the Jambudeep. They are circling around the Meru Parvat.
Actually, it is believed in Jainism that all these are the bodies or are the vehicles of devs, that is moon, sun, etc. So these are a lower category of devs that reside in these.
And what about Bhavanvasi?
Sir, Bhavanvasi are they live in the there are three parts in the universe, the upper part, the upper lok, the middle lok, and the lower lok. So Bhavanvasi, they live in the middle lok only. Their mansions are built beneath the earth also and above also, and they live here in the middle loop only. So they are also all, and to take birth in all these three devs, it's compulsory to be a mithya drishti. Samyak drishti jeev cannot take birth in all these three kinds of dev.
Right.
That is
And what about this Jyotisha Dev? So that all star and sun and all, right?
four types are there: Surya, Chandra, Tara, or Nakshatra. So these
Okay.
four types are.
Nakshatra is what? Galaxy, right?
No, sir, nakshatra, we means nakshatra is what we these asteroids and all these things that we
Acha,
see in.
okay.
Constellations, is it?
Maybe. Okay. Okay. So you have got a good detail from Soumya. I knew that he must
But
be.
when we do this Nandishwar Vidhan Puja, the Nandishwar Dweep, which where all basic. So we also worship all these. वहाँ पे व्यंतर देव, ज्योतिर्देव सबकी भी स्थापना होती है. उनको भी we worship and we.
No.
No,
We
no,
don't
no.
worship them. We don't worship them. We worship the Jinalyas inside their palaces. Because
See, this is
उनकी स्थापना नहीं होती, वो लोग खुद जाते हैं in the three Ashtanika पर्व्स. All the devs of all the heaven beings of all kinds go to Nandishwar Dev for worshipping Dev Bhagwan there. So they are not themselves worshipped.
These
They
are all
also worship.
Akrutim Chaityalay. Nobody has made it. It's there since eternity. Akrutim.
हाँ, और वो जो देव है वो खुद जाते हैं दर्शन करने के लिए भगवान के, तो व्यंतर हो गए या फिर भवनवासी हो गए, वो भी नंदीश्वर दीप जाते हैं भगवान की पूजा करने के लिए. वो खुद उनकी स्थापना नहीं होती है, वो करने के लिए जाते हैं. तो वी शुड नॉट वर्शिप दीज देवतास बिकॉज दे आर देमसेल्व्स वर्शिपर ऑफ आवर भगवान.
हमें तो I mean in the one that I could see here several times, वो अर्थ भी करते हैं उनके लिए. Maybe I'm confused. I'll recheck it.
Okay. Jia, what you have to ask? Yeah, Jia?
Jia, you're on mute.
You are on mute. Okay, you are unable to mute. Okay, you will ask on chat. Okay. Such a problem, huh? You are unable to mute. Unable to unmute yourself. Again, antray karma. So we have to see the independent.
Co-host.
I wanted to ask if we
Host
could.
and co-host can unmute. Yeah.
Acha. Oh, so I could unmute you. 1 minute, I'll unmute you. I wanted to ask if we could have a revision class on Jain cosmology in the future. Okay. I will rope in some expert. On Jain cosmology. We have lectures of Godaji, Sanjeevji Goda. Very good lectures on cosmology. And Soumya, can you get hold of some? Or we can get hold of some scholar? What would you
Yes,
suggest?
sir. I would suggest that the same video of Narak that you presented, the same technology channel, Gen Technology, that has also made cosmology videos of 10 minutes each.
Can you share in the group?
Yeah, I will share it, sir.
Okay, so we will see from there. That would be a good option because getting a scholar and then understanding. Okay, we have a subject on cosmology, maybe in
Yes,
sixth
I can
sem.
unmute.
Yeah, maybe on sixth sem. So now the
We can have a class
Antray
revising
karma
all
has
of this.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just my meeting settings, but yeah.
So not thanks. It's all your karmas that is coming back to you. Nobody is
Yes.
doing anything, right? Okay.
Yes.
So this is how you
So
should interpret
that
every now and then.
Jainism, I'm just not able to understand because, like, that's one thing that I struggle with because of science and like Jain cosmology really conflicts whatever I've learned in science. So that's why I always struggle to defend that part of Jainism when anyone asks me.
But if you want to do your good, even if you don't know anything about it, I don't know anything about it. I'm very frank. I just asked Soumya because I know Soumya must be knowing it.
Sorry,
Because I'm
sir, I
not
can't hear.
from the beginning. What happened? You can't hear me?
Yeah. Can you say
Uh,
again?
So I also don't know all these details. Okay.
Hmm.
But as far as my happiness is concerned, this does not,
Yeah,
it's not going to stop us in any way. Okay.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
you
that's
should
true.
know what is going to make a difference in our life. All these things
Hmm.
are there in knowledge. And as a young, you must have curiosity. That is also very good. But there are available many information on this. If you want to
Correct.
do a PhD on this cosmology, you can still do it. And it will not be, it will just be a small
Hmm.
part. Okay. So all the Karnan Yoga is such a vast subject that you go on learning. Your life will end,
Hmm.
but the learning will not end. So there are so many details in Karna Yoga. Okay. So all this
Right.
is there. So needful will be shared by Soumya ji, and everyone will have a view at it. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
so
Yes.
you will and your curiosity is good, but now you understand through videos, and then
Yes,
we have a
sir.
subject on that. Then at that time we will be discussing what is
Sure,
next.
sir. Got it.
Actually, I have something to say. May I about the question that Jia asked?
Uh,
Yeah, sir. So I also have seen a phase in my life where all these things also bothered me. That
mm,
this
mm,
the presence of hell, the presence of a
mm,
heaven,
mm,
etc. Because I also read books of Western scholars, etc. I read
mm,
*Sapiens*, one of the very famous books,
mm.
*Sapiens*.
Sapiens. Yeah.
So a rational thinking being will it will be difficult for him to consider all these things as true.
Mm,
So then I came to an adjustment. I understood that what should be the first priority for
mm,
me.
mm, mm, mm,
So, as you rightly mentioned, that the first priority is to understand why I am unhappy and what can be the way ahead for me to be happy.
mm,
So, if we focus on the seven tattvas,
mm,
that should be our primary focus. And these things are only kevali gamya. So, no person having an ordinary intellect of a human
mm.
can know all these things. So,
Right.
let us say our knowledge is incomplete. For example, science has not yet concluded whether there is any extraterrestrial life or not.
Mm,
So even in the US also, in many other countries, UFOs have been seen, but
mm,
no conclusive evidence has been presented or accepted by scientific society for the
mm,
presence of an extraterrestrial life. So
mm.
similarly, we can say it is yet to be ascertained what kind of a system this
Now the
world has.
major difference is that Earth is moving, right? The
Hmm.
science believe
Hmm.
that Earth is moving, and our
Yes, sir.
genealogy says that Earth doesn't move, right? It's something like
Mhm.
that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There are multiple differences. Science says that we have gone to the moon. We are trying to now
Mars.
get set colonies on the moon, and religion says we cannot even reach the moons because moon is itself a terrestrial body.
Oh,
Sorry, it's a heavenly body.
okay.
So there are multiple differences. So the
Mm,
conclusion is we have to keep it separate. The science and
Yeah.
the other point is, sir, when we logically also think, if we believe in the karma theory,
mm,
we believe that there are sins and we believe that there are punya karmas. So
mm,
there must be places where if you do so
mm,
much of
mm,
sin, there must be some place where you have to go and you have to
mm,
bear the consequences of your own actions. So
mm,
these places provide maybe I don't know, maybe there must be some place, maybe
mm,
not here, not there,
mm,
somewhere else. But there
mm,
must be some place. So logically, it also comes that there must be places like hell and heaven where people have to go to bear the
mm.
consequences of their own actions. If we
Right,
believe in the karma theory.
right. And karma theory, all religion believe
Yes,
across
sir.
the universe, all believe, and so these are all existing, as I said. But again, it's our pap and punya. If our pap is there, then Vyantar will also come to my body. But if it is not there, then it cannot come. So we should not be fearful of anything, because at the end of the day, it is only our karma that is into play, nothing else. Everything else is immaterial, unimportant. Okay. So we should not get into any of those chakkars. These chakkars are so deep that you will never be able to come out of it. And while you are there in that territory, you bind inauspicious karma. All the time you are binding inauspicious karma if you get into those kind of belief. That's why it is so important to have faith on true God, true scriptures, and true monks, which is again very difficult to get. So all these things are there. My logic is that whatever you can prove by yourself, let's prove that one. These are something that is all it is according to the books are written according to the omniscient being's knowledge. Okay. So it is they only could comprehend such things. With our limited knowledge, we cannot understand those things. We cannot prove it. We have to just believe what is being said in the scriptures. But there are some things that, as Soumya said, 7 fundamentals. Okay. How 7 fundamentals leads to right belief? You research on that and make your belief right. As the elements are there, you believe it that way, then your belief is right. You are a pure soul. You believe yourself to be a pure soul. So your knowledge is right. It's so simple. So things which are simple, which are under our domain, that we do it, and the things which are not under our control, we have to just believe it as the scripture says. Okay, because there is no way that we could challenge it, or we could prove it, we could experiment about it. Nothing. You have to just believe as per omniscient being's knowledge. And even if you don't believe it, if you don't believe it wrong, it will not make a difference as far as your spiritual journey is concerned. Okay. But nevertheless, it is good to understand everything logically, and there is no harm in that. And we have some subjects on that also. Cosmology, very elementary, but nevertheless, it's very interesting how the 6 eras are there. How is the life in the 6th era? So these are all very interesting. This also leads us to, our spiritual upliftment only, if you are able to use it in the right way. Okay. Okay, so we'll start the second stanza anyway. It's very small kind of subject. Reasons for transmigration for the mundane soul. Okay, so the reasons are very simple: false belief, false knowledge, and false conduct. Okay, and these are of 2 types: acquired and inborn. So we have read in Vitrag Vigyan chapter 3, Vitrag Vigyan part 3, chapter 4, Grahit and Agrahit Mithyatva. Okay, so that was one chapter. And in Vitrag Vigyan part 2, chapter 3, we read about the 7 errors, errors on 7 fundamentals. Okay, so that was also taken from here only. That is, we are going to study about the errors in the 7 fundamentals. That is the first subject. Okay. So reasons for the transmigration for the mundane soul. This is second dal. We are starting. We still have 25 minutes. Yeah, 25 minutes. So let's see how much we can cover. The tone is slightly different because this is a Paddari Chand. Okay. So each Chand will have different tone to relate to. I'll just utter this as a ऐसे मिथ्या द्रग ज्ञान चरण वस भ्रमत भरत दुख जन्म मरण ताते इनको तजिए सुजान सुनीतिस संक्षेप कहू बखान ताको न जान नहीं, then it's a different one. Okay, so the first stanza, reasons for transmigration for the mundane soul. Aise means in this way. Mithya drug is darshan. Darshan means faith. We are using it as a belief. Belief is a better word. So we will always use belief. So wrong belief. Okay. Then gyan is wrong knowledge. Then charan is conduct. So wrong belief, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct is the cause of these sufferings of the 4 state of existence. Vash means under the influence. Brahmat means wonders. Bharat means bears. Dukh janma maran, pain of birth and death. Tate, therefore. Inku, to these. Tajiye means to leave, renounce. Okay. The meaning is not given here. Okay. And I also forgot to write it down. Yesterday I was remembering that I will write the meaning. Okay, so I will read from the Hindi and I will translate it
Sir,
right
it's
now.
there in the scanned version though. The
Acha.
Living Wanderer.
Okay. So this has been added later on in the soft copy. So we are fortunate to have that copy. Okay. The living being wanders in this universe and suffers the pains of birth and death because of wrong faith, wrong knowledge, wrong conduct. Therefore, after knowing them well, knowing them means what? Knowing wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. Them well. Well means in a proper way, as it is. Leave them. Okay, renounce them. I, the author Daulat Ram, describe these three in brief. Please listen. Okay. So now the explanation will start, and you could see in the picture that what was the cause of this transmigration, why we were wandering. The arrows shows us that from this space to we went to subhuman state, from subhuman to went to hell, hell to human, human to again celestial being. So this circle is going on and on and on since time immemorial. So now if you want to break this cycle, you have to know the cause. So first know the cause well, and once you know the cause very well, you can always have the solution applied to it and get rid of it. Okay. So now the explanation starts. First in the sequence would be about the belief. Okay. So now they have written good word. The inborn wrong belief. So my question is, why cannot they finalize that everywhere they will use word? They keep on changing words, and this is about one author. Now different author uses different meaning. So at GU portal, the articles that you will read, we have standardized for each word one particular word. So for everywhere it would be wrong belief only. Okay, not wrong faith or wrong any other word. Okay, the inborn. Inborn means the one that is coming from our past birth and is called inborn wrong belief. Agrahit. Okay, and the other one is the acquired. Grahit. Grahit is acquired. Okay, so the causes would be of two kinds. One would be inborn and one would be acquired. Now, inborn, first we are discussing darshan, means the belief. Okay, inborn wrong belief is discussed first, then it would be inborn wrong knowledge, then inborn wrong conduct. So again, wrong word is not a good word, but false would be a good word. But anyways, we can always understand. So it's not that much difficult. So the inborn wrong belief and the nature of the soul. So what is inborn wrong belief? The error regarding the understanding of seven fundamentals is the inborn wrong belief. Okay, we are not understanding the elements as they are. Okay, and that is inborn wrong belief, and that is inborn means it is coming from our past birth, past birth. You go on that way, this wrong belief is coming there from there only. Okay, so it is still continuing inborn. It is not something that you have acquired in this life. It is inborn. The moment you came into this life, it is inborn. This wrong belief is there with you. Okay, agrahit mithya darshan, and the nature of the soul. Okay, so जीवादि प्रयोजन भूत तत्व सरदे तिन माही विपर्यत्व चेतन को है उपयोग रूप बिन मूरत चिन्ह मूरत अनूप. Because I remembered the older writings that were there, now they have changed it bin murti, and at the back the original scripture given, and I have checked it. This is the correct one. So Kirit Bhai Gosalia from USA, he took so much of trouble to see the original writings, and then he changed it for the right. Okay, and we all Indian scholars, we could not get to the original script and correct it. So we have done it our own way, and this has become very popular. So everyone would sing it in that manner, because once you are into that rhythm, no, the words automatically come it that way. Okay. So the pronunciation will change a bit here. Bin Murti and Chin Murti Anu. So at many places these differences are there. Okay, right, starting from the first stanza, and every now and then some differences are there, and why it has come we don't know, who has done it, where from it has done it, but the mistake is there, we have to admit. And Kiritbhai has taken so much of effort and has gone to Manglayatan many times in that temple, found out those original scriptures, and they have taken out a photograph, and you can see on page number 170, around 170, it's all given. The whole scripture is given. You see, it is on a continuous basis. It is not paragraph wise, stanza wise. They conclude, although the numbers are given. Okay, numbers are given of each stanza, but it is on a, you can see from page number 167 onwards, it's given. Okay, so that that is already rectified now. Okay, so with a vision towards the nature, true nature of the soul. Okay, now again, this vision word is not the apt word. Okay, so here it means the belief only, but here it is written as vision. With a vision towards the true nature of the soul. When one truly believes in the nature of seven realities of living, non-living, inflow. Now inflow is influx. We use influx, and it's not living. It is soul, non-soul, influx, bondage, stoppage, shedding. Instead of shedding, we use dissociation. Okay, dissociation and the liberation. Okay, these are the seven fundamentals. Everyone knows about these seven fundamentals very deeply. We have already studied it 3 times. Okay, first in Vitrag Vigyan 1, 7 fundamentals chapter was there. Then in Vitrag Vigyan 2, chapter 3, the errors on 7 fundamentals. Then in Tattvagyan 1, again errors of 7 fundamentals. 3 times, so I remember. Then I think at some other place it's there, it's again going to come you 8-9 times you will read about 7 fundamentals every now and then, and that is only required if you have a correct belief of 7 fundamentals, you manifest right belief. But we cannot keep on reading one thing again and again, so there is this diversification, but the end result is that we have to come back again on the 7 fundamentals to manifest right belief. Okay, so here the they have shown the mistakes what we have. What is the actual nature and what we have believed? Okay, both are given here. Therefore, it is essential to know these 7 realities, because knowing these 7 realities, one obtains true faith. That was in the previous life. To understand these 7 realities in the wrong way is known as the inborn wrong belief. Okay, to know it in the wrong way is inborn wrong belief. Now we have to dismantle that wrong belief and get the right belief. Okay, the true faith, again faith word is used, so see there is no uniformity. Okay, the true faith of the 7 realities like living, non-living, etc. etc. means influx, bondage, stoppage, dissociation and liberation, all etc. is all. Okay, all the 7 fundamentals is relevant to our purpose. Okay, it is relevant to our purpose. What is the purpose? Purpose is to experience happiness and to let go sufferings. That is the purpose. In fact, the characteristics of the soul is attentive consciousness. So you write active consciousness and not attentive. Okay, active is a good word. So if you visit the GU portal, you will get all the best words we have selected, and we have uniformly used it everywhere. Okay. So active consciousness, upyog. Soul is unique and sentient and not perceived with sense organs. Okay. Now, what is the characteristics of the soul? In Tattva Sutra, the characteristic is shown as upyog. Upyog means active consciousness. Consciousness is an attribute of the soul, and when we say consciousness, we include two attributes. One is perception, darshan, and the other is knowledge, gyan. Okay, darshan, gyan. Okay, consciousness is chetana. So chetana is of two types, darshan chetana and gyan chetana. Darshan upyog and gyan upyog. Okay, darshan upyog is perception. Darshan is also known as faith or belief. Okay, so previously we discussed the belief. That was again a darshan, but there it is related to belief, and here darshan means is to just see. Okay, perception. Okay. In fact, the characteristic of the soul is attentive consciousness, means attentive perception and attentive knowledge. Upyog. Soul is unique and sentient and not perceived with sense organ. So soul is something which has got consciousness, okay? It is a sentient being and it is not perceived with sense organs. So you cannot see the soul through eyes, you cannot smell the soul through nose, you cannot taste the soul through your taste buds, you cannot listen to the soul because it is not perceived with sense organs. Okay. So this was about the soul. Now stanza 3. The wrong belief in the understanding of the living element. So it is continuing the third stanza, fourth stanza and fifth stanza. Third and fourth, both will be about soul only. Okay. उद्गल नभ धर्म अधर्म काल इनते न्यारी है जीव चाल ताकू न जान, no जान, it is जानी. So earlier it was जान. ताकू न जानी विपरीत मान करी करे देह में निज पिछान. No, पिछान no, it is again पिछानी. So in the previous it was chal and now it would be pichan, but it is pichani. So originally it's pichani. So even Daulat Ram ji had done some mistakes because while writing a poem, it always matches the, you know, the, what you call, the tones. So then only you can song it in such a manner. Okay. But anyway, whatever has happened, happened. So these people must have tried to correct it. That's why they have changed it. Otherwise, why would they have changed? So that could be the logic. Okay. But we are not getting into it. Whatever is there in front of us, that we should understand. Matter, Pudgal is matter, Nab is medium, Nab is Akash, space. Dharma, Dharma is a medium of motion, Adharma is medium of rest. Then Kal, Kal is time. Inte Nyari hai Jeev Chal are the 5 non-sentient substance of the universe. Okay. Now, better word is used is for Rupi Padarth. It is no, this is about living and non-living things. Okay. So non-sentient is non-living. Okay. So matter, medium, these 5 substances. Okay. See, out of 6 substance, only soul is sentient being. All the other 5 are non-sentient beings because they don't have knowledge. Okay. And they cannot experience also sorrow and happiness. Okay. So these are non-sentient being of the universe. The soul is forever an embodiment of knowledge, Gyan Swarup, okay, and is separate from these non-living, non-sentient substances. Okay. Inte Nyari hai Jeev Chal. So soul is different from these 5 non-sentient substances. The soul with the wrong belief. Okay. Again, here it is used belief. The soul with the wrong belief has no true understanding of this fact. What fact? All the 6 substances, soul doesn't know it properly if the wrong belief persists. The soul with the wrong belief has no true understanding of this fact. The difference between the two. sentient being and non-sentient being. In ignorance, he believes himself to be the body. Now, body is non-sentient, but he believes to be the body, and further believes that he can perform the activities of the body. Okay, I am walking, I am talking, I am this, and that the body is functioning with his desire. Okay, so these are all the errors that errors in the belief regarding soul. This wrong belief makes him understand that the body and the soul are one, which is not the case, and the same. This is the wrong belief about the understanding of the living element, that is Jeev Tattva, that is soul. Again, it is continuing in the fourth stanza also. Soul's misconception about the understanding of the nature of the living elements, that is Jeev Tattva. Thinking of wrong believer regarding the body and the alien substances. Okay, body and other substances, these are all alien substances. मैं सुखी दुखी मैं रंग राव, मेरो धन ग्रह को धन प्रभाव, मेरे सुत क्रिय में सबल दीन, बेरूप सुभग मूरख प्रवीण. मैं सुखी दुखी. Instead of knowing the true nature of soul being forever consciousness, the ignorant soul thinks that he is the body and performs the functions of the body. If the body is healthy, then it is beneficial to him. This is his wrong belief. He is happy with the favorable external surroundings and unhappy with the unfavorable situation. So, मैं सुखी दुखी means happy, unhappy. Rank Rao. Rank is beggar and Rao is Raja, king. He is poor or rich. Okay. Then Mero Dhan. Dhan is the wealth. Graha. Graha is house. And Godhan. Godhan. So in earlier days, they used to keep cow and other animals along with them, and that is called Godhan. So that was also considered a wealth. If you have cow in your place, you are not dependent on milk for anybody. You can take out yourself milk from the cow, feed the cow, and you can have your own. He is poor, he is rich, he is strong, he is weak. Okay. So strong and weak would be Sabal. Sabal and Deen. Sabal is strong and Deen is weak. Okay. He is human and he is handsome or ugly. Handsome or ugly is Berup and Subhag. Berup is ugly, Subhag is handsome. Then Murak Praveen, wise and fool. Murak is fool and Praveen is wise. He believes to have wife. Wife is Sut. Sut, I think Sut is children and Triya is wife. Right? He believes to have wife, sons, wealth, house, and animal wealth. Animal wealth was Godhan. Okay. But in the second paragraph, all the meanings are given. मैं is I, a wrong believer. Sukhi, dukhi, happy and unhappy. Rank, rao, poor and rich. All these things. Okay. You can take it. We will close that here. Our time is also over. Next week, we will continue from fifth stanza and continue further. Okay. So these are all very easy. You can also read. We have already studied the errors regarding 7 fundamentals in Vitrag Vigyan 2, chapter 3. You can revise that also. Whatever fundamentals we have covered in the first year is enough for you to build your platform, build your spiritual journey. So you have to keep on repeating those topics again and again, at least the first year's topics. These are very fundamentals, and whenever you have time, you can still go on repeating. Okay. There is one announcement. I'm not wasting time after that announcement. I will share in the group. We will have another special class tomorrow for 1 hour for one student. His name is Suresh Bhai. He is in UK. He is a senior citizen. So right now in UK, it is midnight. Okay. So he cannot join classes anytime. But for the past year, he has been completing homework every time and he has been a very sincere student. So we are doing one extra class for him for any questions to ask, for any live interactions, and I will be summarizing what we have covered today. He will also listen to the recording. Saturday is a holiday for him. Okay, Saturday, Sunday. So he will listen the recording today itself, and tomorrow if he has any questions, he will ask. Otherwise, I will summarize the whole that we have covered today. So it is an optional class for all of you. If you have time and if you want to join, you can join. Otherwise, we did it this class last week only. That was a one-to-one classes. But now I thought if somebody wants to have a revision, they can have. So the link will be the same class link, but this will happen tomorrow India time 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'll just put it in the group. Okay. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है। उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है। उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत